What do you girls think? Are we gonna shoot one tonight or what? Indifferent? I'll let you girls know. Well, it's Friday night. Late walk back to the truck. I saw 7 deer. This is the new spot. Abandoned that oak spot after all that pressure. I saw a little spike buck. And then right at last light, a nice shooter buck came in. Didn't really get any good footage of him. He took the same trail as a bunch of does, heading out towards the agriculture. Wind was good. He came into maybe 30 yards, raked a tree for 10 minutes, and then took out to the beans. So it didn't quite work out, but my access was clean. So I'm gonna try and get in there tomorrow and move over 30 yards to where he was and where all the does came out and see if I can get lucky. The only problem is 2 additional deer came in, and after dark when I was getting down, they never smelled me, but they were blowing and marching back and forth. For 40 minutes. I finally yelled at them because they kept coming closer and I didn't want them to smell me, and they still came closer. One of them almost got to the base of my tree. I think it smelled me and took off. So I got down, quiet and quick. And then I was at the base of the tree and another deer stood up and took off. So really hoping in all that confusion I didn't booger the spot up and that buck was long gone. This was all almost an hour after he had showed up. So fingers crossed tomorrow I can get into him. Until tomorrow. Laying here in a deer bed at the edge of the field, waiting for the wind to switch. It's supposed to switch to be coming out of the west here. It's coming out of the south right now. And I can't go to the spot where that buck was last night until it switches. But the plan is it should switch within the hour, sneak up along the edge of this field, crawl up to this tree on the downwind side, and hope they take that same trail that they did last night. If they did, I should be clear. Wait for the does to come by and maybe get a crack at that doe. Or that buck. I just woke up. I felt really confident in that sit, but it didn't work out. He didn't come. I don't know if I messed it up prior or what happened the night before, but wind was perfect. Felt really confident. I had to sit on the ground. Couldn't get up in a tree, but 2 deer did come down that trail, a doe and a fawn, right at last light. Waited a little bit just in case, and no dice. So the next day I got invited out with a good friend to go hit a piece of public property that we've never been to before. It's hard to pull it off when you're doing that, but that's a lot of fun. We did some scouting, found a nice scrape and some feeding sign up the way. My friend shot the scrape. I didn't end up seeing anything, which was a bummer. And I set up a little closer to the food. I saw 2 does that night that were insanely cautious. They skirted around me. One came up really close, maybe 20 yards away. She was feeding on some buckthorn. I was so confident she was going to come out, I actually drew my bow. And I don't know if she heard me or what, but once she got behind that buckthorn, I waited and waited and waited, and she never came out. I had to draw back down, waited until the end of the night, and she just totally vanished on me. Never saw her leave, never heard her leave, but that happens sometimes. So with that, I came back home and kind of had to rethink my approach. All right, it's September 24th, Tuesday, about 3:30 p.m. Doing an interview back at the house here before I go out there because I'm not going to be able to make any noise. We had the cold front come through Sunday night, and my camera started showing a lot of daylight movement. We've got bucks sparring back there. A couple of them I'd really like to put my tag on. So I hunted it last night. The way this sets up is got about 18 acres of private here. This is my first sit of the season last night. We got water, we got a lot of biodiversity, different browse for them. And it's really all bedding. And we're surrounded by corn. So I saw 2 does and some fawns yesterday. And then I heard something at dark. It wouldn't go away. So I waited another half hour, still wouldn't go away. It was in the bedding area. I was able to sneak out of there. Quiet, didn't blow anything. In half an hour, got some pictures of the buck. So I didn't disturb anything. This morning, I got pictures of them bucks going right back into that bedding area. So I'm fairly confident they're gonna come right back out today. Hopefully during shooting light. The challenge though is access. So because everything is bedding back there, I really got to be sneaky. It's maybe a 300-yard walk. I'm gonna have to do a loop though. It's probably gonna take me an hour, just really slowly stepping it. There's barely any wind. We're gonna try and use what wind I have to cover my noise. But then the bigger challenge after that is the forecasted wind is gonna shift, and it's gonna be a barely off wind for that bedding area. So we're swinging for the fences. I'm confident we can make it happen if they come out, but it is risky. So we'll see what happens. Eyes need to adjust here. That was an awesome hunt. Probably one of my best hunts ever. So much fun. Took me probably an hour and a half to sneak out there. Real slow. And once I did, probably within 10 minutes of setting up, I had deer on me. There's a bunch of brush and vegetation and stinging nettles and all sorts of stuff, and they were eating on that. It was hard to tell how many deer there were. They would just go down and pop up like little gophers. So I don't know, I saw 10, 12 deer. I lost count. Most of them does and fawns. I had 2 little bucks come up in the brook by me, and then within 10 yards for quite a while. I got some good footage of that. I don't know what the footage looks like of all the other deer in that brush, but that was really fun. And then best of all, right at last light, the 2 shooter bucks came out. I had them on camera sparring, like I said, and they put on a show for me. I don't know if I got any of it on GoPro. That last 30 minutes of legal light's shady or shoddy for the footage usually, but should be able to hear it. But that was fun. They locked their antlers up and then just really started pushing on each other. I've never seen that before, especially in September. So they're getting the pecking order figured out. I'm sure they'll disperse and kind of break up pretty soon here, but that was an amazing hunt. Was able to glass them and watch them go off. Got real close. They were probably within 20 yards at one point behind some brush when they were fighting. Sparring, I should say. But overall, just a super fun hunt. And I waited and was able to get back cleanly, so I didn't screw anything up. Excited to get back out for next time.